You're listening to Mallet and Michelle. I am Michelle, your guide to all things real, ridiculous, and the Texas Hill Country. And with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the occasional mansplainer, Steve Mallet.
Okay, I think that's one of my specialties. I'm a really good mansplainer.
I think it is.
Let me tell you why.
Oh, God.
Hey, I'm super excited today. We have two wonderful guests coming in. Catherine Chandler and Sharon Redenhouse.
Oh, you just
I butchered it.
Yeah.
It's Retta Hayes.
Retta Hayes.
Yeah. I did it, yeah. It's because you got in my head earlier. Sharon Retta Hayes. I'm sorry,
Sharon. Dun, dun. I.
And they're from Patriots Hall, and they're going to come in and tell us all about the cool things happening at Patriots Hall, which has only been open for 9 months.
I can't believe that. I feel like it's been open for a really long time, but I guess it was because of the VFW and the VFW
was there for a little while, but
it's that building that's right next door to it.
That's what I'm
the
saying.
American Legion. Yeah.
So they're going to come in and tell us about all the cool things that have been happening in the last 9 months since they opened the doors.
Hey, I wanted to thank our sponsors.
Nice save.
Just threw that right in front of me. Yeah, good job, Steve. Good job. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
Where the hardest decision is pineapple, ruby red, lime, or let's try them all.
Well, that's a good one, Steve. Look at you. Jovi Valterra.
Where 55 plus means you've outgrown drama, but not happy hour.
Full baloney. You have more 50-year-olds I know are involved in drama.
Yeah, this is true.
Drama.
Yeah, you've got the time for that. Don't
we do. South Star Bank.
Where modern banking meets personal service, and you're more than just an account number.
Mallet Integrity Team Real Estate.
Turning for sale into sold with hustle, heart, and just enough sarcasm to keep things interesting.
You know what's interesting?
Courtesy of Michelle.
I left my glasses in the other room, so this is going to be interesting. Blind Grammy, but yeah,
You want to borrow mine?
No,
okay.
Because
we're going to wing it.
We don't want to both be going blind. Sorry, on YouTube, it was just on me for the last 5 minutes too. So,
dang it.
Hi. Hey, I know. I'm sorry. Usually, it's sometimes I hit button 4, and button 4 goes to nothing. So if you're ever watching my YouTube,
our very professional YouTube.
Yeah, we're
24 followers on YouTube.
Yeah, we're really good at this.
We haven't figured out the whole YouTube thing yet, but bear with us. We're going to get it figured out.
Didn't I say this morning, I figured something else out. I was like, look, I just went to film school. Hey, I wanted to do a couple of shout-outs to some of these amazing Texas companies that have kind of given back to these Texas Hill Country floods. One of the biggest ones that I feel besides HEB has been P. Terry's. You were out of town, and P. Terry's donated 1 full day of all of their locations proceeds, and there were waits for an hour and a half, 2 hours for a hamburger. They actually had to close early because all over they ran out of food, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Totally amazing. I was also surprised. It was kind of funny because I had this conversation with my kids. They were like, they donated $150,000. I was like, look, guys, that's after all the expenses. That's after they paid all their employees and their food and electricity, but that's still amazing. $150,000. The other one is James Avery. I don't know if you know this, but James Avery, along with HEB, their hometown is Kerrville, Texas.
Yeah, I did know that.
And James Avery, every year, I guess they had charms dedicated to those Camp Mystic girls.
I did not know that.
In Texas, if you're a Texas girl, you're a charm girl. You're a charm bracelet girl. I actually have my mom's charm bracelet from many, many years ago. It's really special. I have a charm bracelet. But James Avery has a special Texas, flag. A shape of Texas charm. And they have currently...
Sure Holly has one of them.
Well, they've currently... This one actually has the date on it. Has July 4th, 2025. They have currently sold out in all stores, but they are still taking orders, I think up until, if I read correctly, August 4th, give or take. And they are going to give all the proceeds back to the flood victims. They also lost a family member in the flood. But to name a couple others, of course, 12 Fox. 12 Fox has done amazing. They have spearheaded donation drives. And I'm not just saying, food and clothes and things like that. I'm talking chainsaws and drill bits.
Which were one of the most needed things at the time. Chainsaws to cut through all that debris.
Crazy. So once again, some of our favorite people, Joe and Stacy Hogue, like you guys are just good people. One of the other people that I was reading about, speaking of chainsaws, was Dusty Drake of Dynamo Dusty.
Yeah,
he was on
what
episode 180.
Yeah.
I really encourage you. He's a veteran. I encourage you to go back and listen to his episode.
Guy too. Yeah, very interesting.
He's donated his tree service skills and equipment, and he was out there. Another one that we know, she's one of our advertisers with Dripping Springs Elite, Amber Pierce with Coit Restoration.
Yeah.
She's been out there helping families try to get back, donating her time. Paul Guerrero, Allstate, he's an amazing guy. He's been out there donating his time. Of course, we talked about HEB, and then Toyota, Whataburger, AT&T, and Verizon apparently have waived certain fees during this time for their customers.
It's been great, all the companies that have come out of the woodwork to support the people that are suffering out there.
NGR out of Houston, and Mattress Mac. I know that we've talked about him before during the hurricane. He's the owner of Gallery Furniture in Houston, Texas. He has a rapid response team that he had trucks and volunteers out there. And then one of the things that I have my friends on board, and we are all trying to get tickets. They go on sale next Wednesday. So by the way, next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, don't talk to me because I'm going to be I'm trying to get tickets. So for like 10 minutes, okay? Just keep that in mind.
I'll put that on my calendar.
But
I won't try and bother you with any real estate.
Do not bother me with work.
Like that,
Don't bother me with work, because Parker McCullum has, along with his friends, he's a Texas artist, Miranda Lambert, Cody Johnson, they are having a benefit concert here at the Moody Theater in Austin,
and the proceeds go to benefit.
All the proceeds go to that. Awesome. And then one of our local guys, Pat Green, I've been in talks to get him on the show as well. Pat Green,
you'll get him.
I will, but he's a great, amazing Texas country artist. He's also went mainstream. He sings the song "Wave on Wave." He lost his brother, sister-in-law, and two nephews.
A lot of people's lives, yeah.
But right after he gave a benefit concert with no audience, believe it or not, and various people have shown up. The country music side has really shown up to support all of this. But I just wanted to give a little shout out to some of these local people, and I just think kudos to you. There's a lot of people that can't give with their treasures or even their talent, so they give their time, and however that is, if you're whatever it is.
I think that's really cool. And as of today, I read there's there are still 3 people missing, so they're still searching for 3 people, trying to figure out where they are.
It's interesting that you should say that, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding the 3, quote, missing people. There's a lot of people that are saying there's a lot higher. And so apparently Kerrville, the city of Kerrville, has apparently kicked out all of the volunteers because the state has now come in. Because I guess now at this point, when they are searching or they're doing recovery efforts, it's the bacteria levels are super high. And so there are still areas outside of Kerrville and Hunt, some of the little smaller towns, and even in our own little neck of the woods up in Leander, that little area. But
I want to let some people know about something I read about this morning. Attorney General Ken Paxton has initiated an investigation into scams targeting flood victims, and apparently it's more rampant than you think. So there's all these people out there, like you're saying, raising money. There are people that, in this one instance, they impersonated the Center Point Volunteer Fire Department.
Was it a female? Oh, no.
It didn't say.
I saw one that was a female, and that she's been known to do this in North Carolina and Louisiana.
So they probably do. They target disasters, and they go around and they get on the phone and they go, "Hey, we're raising money for disaster relief," and people donate because they give out of the goodness of their heart. They're being taken advantage of. they've tricked several people into donating money, and one man lost $10,000 trying to buy tickets to a George Strait concert that ended up being
bogus.
Just a scam. Yeah, it's a sold-out benefit concert in Bernie that he's putting on. Attorney General Ken Paxton said he's going to use the full weight of his office to hold bad actors responsible. And it's important, I think. Scammers are getting more and more sophisticated these days, and they really like to target the elderly, people that are getting up there in age. And they're getting, the sophistication of how they're doing that is getting actually kind of crazy. I read another story. This is not to do with Kerrville, but this older couple, they were in their 80s, had saved up over the course of their lifetime a little $5 million nest egg. This guy clicked on an ad online for crypto and ended up giving away $5 million to a scammer. They are in their 80s now and have nothing.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. And so the gist of this article was he was going into the bank every day and going, hey, I need you to wire $217,000 to this account. Here's the wiring instructions. And they just kept doing it.
How did the bank employee not stop this crap?
They actually interviewed a spokesperson from the bank, and they said it is not our business to ask them about every transaction.
I'm sorry, but if somebody's in your 80s is coming up, I did see something online that they were talking about reputable charitable organizations to donate to, and they said
do some research.
Absolutely do some research. And they said they have already encountered, back to your original story, they already encountered people that are just there for social media clicks and video, so they can now go to their social media platforms and beg for money. Or you have the do-gooder that we've talked about this on a previous show. You have the do-gooder that is making themselves look wonderful and taking the credit. I don't know.
They think they're making themselves look wonderful. In the eyes of the people that are watching, they look like they're just taking advantage of other people's misfortune is what it looks like. They're trying to increase their presence on social media because somebody else is suffering. I know the daily. There's nothing nice.
The daily or hourly updates that you're getting, and this person is, or people are. They're not sweaty. They're not dirty.
Right. They're just shooting video.
Yeah, they're just shooting video.
But I actually see more legislation coming in the future to protect people, the elderly, and I think it's important for people your age, my age, to have open conversations with their parents if they're still around, to make sure they know what they're doing with their finance. Because giving away $5 million, you would say, oh, that'll never happen in my family. Well, it happened to some family, so just be more cautious. When I was on my trip last week in Oregon, we were in this little small town on the beach, and I told you about this, Michelle. There was a group of about 30, maybe 40, I would say, senior citizens out with little handmade signs.
Oh, yeah.
The one that I saw the most was no cuts to VA, which I want to talk about. The other one was no kings, and I was trying to think of currently, if you are standing on a street corner with a sign that says no kings, you are the same person that was driving around last year with a mask on in your car by yourself with the windows open.
Or wishing us to not get medical treatment because we chose not to be vaccinated.
You're an idiot. But the signs that said no cuts to the VA, because we have Patriots Hall coming on today, I thought, is the VA really being cut? And I did some research on that. Early on in March, DOGE actually came out, that group that's looking at cutting waste and fraud in the federal government, and recommended cutting 80,000 jobs at the VA. There are 480,000 employees currently at the VA. They have a budget of $350 billion a year, which if you do the math on that, that's $39,000 per vet per year in the United States. And they recommended cutting 80,000 jobs. As that bill went back and forth, they were going to do a reduction in force, which means they were just going to basically fire or lay off 80,000 people. Now that has gone to, they're going to eliminate 30,000 jobs, which means somebody retires, they don't fill that job. Somebody quits, they don't fill that job until they get the total number of employees down to $450,000. the cuts that I saw were, they talked about there are many instances where people are getting multiple, they're getting money from multiple programs, and if they're qualified for one, they shouldn't be qualified for the other, but they're getting money from both. So people are calling that a cut. If you're getting Medicare and Medicaid, and one of those is taken away from you, that's not really a cut. You were really, it's not really fraud, because I think a lot of these people don't really understand, but the government is so discombobulated that they allow people to have money. So a lot of it seems to be that there are multiple programs where people are getting multiple
consolidated
benefits.
for most.
So, and the main thing that the VA secretary said, the focus is on finding deficiencies, and the only changes will affect veterans, and no changes will affect veterans' health or veterans' benefits. So they're trying to get rid of some of the bloat, which there's a lot. They added, in 2019, they added 80,000 new jobs, and the number of complaints at the VA has not decreased at all. The complaints are exactly the same. And I think this is sort of like the whole thing with the homeless. It's like, yes, you can keep throwing money at it, but at some point you have to say, we don't want to throw money at it, we want to make things better.
Yeah.
And so from what I read, it looks to me like they're trying to make the VA more efficient, cut out all the bloat. One of the biggest things was, and we've had people on that have said, I have to drive up to the VA, and my dad said it, the VA is, so many miles away. Well, now they're going to have a telehealth program. So the vet can just get on a video call with their doctor, and instead of having to drive 80 miles to go sit in a waiting room at the VA.
For 4 hours. Yeah.
Exactly. So
what I find is hilarious, and my brother and I always laugh about this, is that his permanent address is my address, and he's a retired Navy guy.
Yeah.
And I'll say, hey, you got something from the VA, and he's like, it's just my appointment that I just had. They waste so much postage and paper.
Well, they got 80,000 too many employees.
It's crazy.
You got to find a job for those people. So anyway, there are actually the vets are going to get a cost of living increase this year, 2.5%. There has been some discussion about cuts to SNAP, which it blows my mind that we have veterans that serve this country on SNAP. But it's the same thing. It's like you're on SNAP, you're on these other programs, you're not qualified for both. It's one or the other. So in my mind, those are not cuts. You're not cutting something at the VA. So the other thing that's going to happen is the federal government is going to let the states manage some of this stuff. So they're cutting it at the VA level, but the money's being allocated to the states to take care. So a vet, say in Minnesota, maybe the VA benefit for food assistance would be cut, but he would be qualified. He or she would be qualified from the state assistance program, which we have. What is it here in Texas? It's not called SNAP. It's called something else.
Well, no, WIC is
WIC?
women. No, WIC is women and children, and
maybe it is SNAP. Anyway, but so if you're holding a sign that says no kings, you're an idiot. If you're holding a sign that says no cuts to the VA, you need to do some research, because I didn't see anything that looks to me like it's going to negatively affect
I think
veterans.
most of the people I'm all for freedom of speech and go and protest and you do
knock
you.
yourself out, but be aware that people are looking at you with your little silly signs saying you just don't know what you're talking about.
There's two people that stand on the corner of 290 and 12 and do that. Two same people that do that.
I would love to see when they're doing that.
I'm going to go stand out
50
there.
50 people standing there waving American flags, just 10 or 20 yards down from them. We should do that. Well, how great would that be?
Because it's Saturday morning, and I'm actually spending my time with my family. Family. Hey, so we're going to have Patriots Hall, and they're going to talk about, all the great programs that they do. But I wanted to kind of give a little backstory of who they are, where they started. So it's a 7,100 square foot gathering hall, hangout space, pool table, fireplaces, meeting house. They have a 1,200 square foot meeting house. And it's also home to the local VFW and the American Legion post that they have, and an 800 square foot wellness center offering VA claim assistance, health consultations. But did you know that they will accept not only veterans, but if you are a spouse to a veteran, if you were you have a what? How did they word it? A minor child, but that wouldn't make sense because they wouldn't be able to be in the military. They said underage Patriot.
I'm not sure.
But they also give allowances, well, in the auxiliary and reservists, but they also give allowances to volunteers, and they're not necessarily active, so they'll allow them to become members. But I'm sure you've heard of the VFW and the American Legion. So the VFW, you must, in order to be a member of that, you must be a U.S. citizen or service member with honorable or general discharge. You must, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, serve overseas in a foreign war, expedition, or hostile zones. They say that this is the reason why the VFW model is kind of dying, because we are moving, thank goodness, we're moving to more of a peacekeeping nation, and so this is kind of what we want. But the American Legion, it's open to U.S. military service on active duty with honorable also and general discharge. It says the service dated from December 7th, 1941 to present, and it was expanded by the Legion Act to include all post-1941 service members. You know, that was funny. So if you, prior to 1941, if you served in World War II or World War I, you couldn't be a member. No combat requirement, so that's the difference between VFW and American Legion, and National Guard and reservists on federal orders are eligible. Patriots Hall open to all veterans, again, regardless of service, era, or deployment, as well as family members and community supporters. And once again, like I said, it houses the VFW and the American Legion. The VFW, it costs something like $45 a year. The American Legion, again, right around that price. And you can also become lifetime members of both of those. You know what it is for Patriots Hall? $0. $0.
We were talking too that they do open it up to the public, but it's only on the days where the public is invited. So it's not like you can't just pop in there
for Taco Tuesdays.
Tuesday. They're on their calendar on their website. Apparently, they have a very up-to-date.
The calendar is very, very well done now.
Yeah,
so,
but you can see the days where it's open to the public and go. So we're going to take a little break and get Catherine Chandler and Sharon Retta Hayes in here. But I wanted to reach out and ask you all to go right now and follow us on the Mallet and Michelle Instagram, because we need to get a few more followers so that they will continue to allow us to do our Instagram lives, which have been a big hit. So, but hang on, everybody. Sit tight. We'll be right back with Catherine Chandler and Sharon Retta Hayes. I hope I didn't cut you off.
Nope, you didn't.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you today. Appreciate you always.